situated. Shit. Okay. 5 years of the Random Ramblings with Rob. Honestly, 5 years ago, I didn't think I would be addressing this right now. I didn't think that I would still be doing this for this long. And I have no gripes about it. I mean, it's been great these past 5 years being able to reach out and speak to all these wonderful people that I've had on my show that I don't think I've ever would have had in my life had I not done this January 13th of 2016. So I don't know, on the anniversary here today, this is an extra bonus episode for the week. I hope you're enjoying the current episode that's out now and all the previous ones and hopefully all the ones to come. But I don't know, last year, I don't even remember what I did for my 4-year anniversary. And the 3-year anniversary, I think that was the most I ever done for this podcast. I did it live. I had people call in and be guests. I did a whole video editing package thing. And here on year 5, I mean, you think incrementally 5 would be like some kind of awesome, great anniversary type deal or whatever. Like, you know how when you get married, like the 10-year anniversary is the silver anniversary. I don't know. I don't know the exact specifics of that. I just heard that before. But here for number 5, we're just going to shoot the shit. No guests, just me. Give you, I don't know, a little bit of insight on how I'm feeling about podcasting after 5 years. And, I don't know, feelings and thoughts about the future, maybe. It's weird because I'm looking at the TV and the camera's up here. So I'm looking into your eyes. I'm staring into your soul. I don't know. I don't really know what I had in mind for freaking the 5-year anniversary show. But it always has been just me getting off my chest, you know, just what I think about podcasting. And I feel like I'm repeating myself. It has been a fun ride. And I'm looking at my camera thing right now and there we go. I got the tracking thing on my face because it was checking my banana over there. I don't mean that in a nasty way. Yeah, but my senior mustache nanner back there. And I don't know. I tell you what though, you know, so I'm not sitting here stalling and stammering and everything. I did say that I had a story that I wanted to talk about on the podcast after all the things were done with it. PlayStation 5 just came out. PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X and the Xbox Series S and the digital PlayStation 5 and all that other stuff. So, you know, when it released on November 10th and November 12th, there was a mad dash trying to get one of these consoles or whatever. I was one of the fortunate few to be able to pre-order one of each. And just out of curiosity and everything, whenever they start doing the other sales and whatnot, I started just looking around, seeing if I can grab PlayStations and extra Xboxes for people that I knew, or maybe even to resell, because I've never done anything like that before. And just to even think about the Xbox Series X, I wind up getting 2 of those pre-ordered on accident. So Amazon, they didn't release at the same time as all the other people released on November 10th. So I think the time was at 8 a.m. Freaking Central or whatever the time it was. Anyway, it was a specific time that it was going to launch out for pre-orders and all this other crap. So I went to the normal avenues of approach. I went to GameStop and I was like, I sat in the queue. I had my payment information pulled up and everything, and I was just waiting for my turn to get an opportunity to get an Xbox Series X. And I didn't get one. So I was kind of bummed out about it or whatever. And I left. I mean, I got to the point where a lot of people was getting to. I got it in my cart, and then I did the, process the payment and everything. It was like, oh, sold out. And that was it. So I couldn't get one from GameStop. An hour later, that's when they started popping up on Amazon. So I was able to get one on Amazon real quick because, I just pressed the automatic buy now button because I'm such a freaking frequent Amazon shopper. That's how that went down. So I was able to get one on Amazon. So I flipped back to GameStop a little while later and still had the little icon lit up for my cart. It was like, you have one item in your cart. And I was like, what? So I went in there. Sure as shit, the Xbox was still in there. But previously, they told me it was sold out. So out of curiosity, I just pressed the purchase button. And I got a notification that said, thank you for your purchase. I was like, okay. So that's how I got 2 Xbox Series X's. At the time, I didn't know anybody personally that wanted to get one. So I was just like, well, fuck it. Why don't I try to resell it? I'll sit on it till Christmas and see what the market does and everything. If it's if it's hard to get, then I'll base that on my pricing determination. So I sat on it until Christmas. PlayStation came out. I was able to get a pre-order on that from, I believe, GameStop as well. So I did the same thing. I sat in the queue and everything. I went straight through, no problem, like the first time. And I got my PlayStation 5 pre-ordered. A couple of weeks later, they started sporadically releasing the freaking PlayStation 5 ones for pre-order. And they had a bundle edition that was available at GameStop. They said they was going to release it at a certain time and a certain day. I forget what those specifics are. But I waited, got in line, and boom, was able to secure a PlayStation 5 bundle. So I got all those things on November 10th and 12th and everything on their release dates. And, I have my PlayStation. It's down here next to my Xbox Series X. And so I decided around Christmas to go ahead, or right before Christmas, to put it on Amazon. I mean, not Amazon. Goddamn, I'm flustered. eBay, and try to sell it. So I sold my other Xbox, was it Xbox One X or whatever. I had that previous to the Series X. There's so many boxes, X's and squares and O's and shit. So I set my shit up, put it on eBay along with my old Xbox, then got the PlayStation in, put all that up on eBay. And I never experienced anything on eBay like an auction or selling it or doing anything like that. So that was an experience in itself. It's just like I got a couple hits right off the bat as far as auctioning prices, and then it went silent. But around the day of, when it had like 2 and 3 hours left, that's when I started getting the bid snipers, just pew, 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 and then just jacking my price up. So I sold the Xbox. I sold my old Xbox. No problem. No qualms about it. Get to the PlayStation. It was a bundle. It came with an additional controller. And it was the disc version. It came with an additional controller, 2 games, Spider-Man, Miles Morales, and Demon Souls. And it also came with a 12-month subscription to PlayStation Plus. And it came with a headset. It wasn't the Pulse PlayStation branded headset. It was just some kind of headset. So all that was within the bundle. Out of that whole bundle, when I got the box in personally, I kept the 12-month subscription to PlayStation Plus. I kept the Demon Souls game because I already purchased the Miles Morales game. And then the headphones, I took back to GameStop and got it refunded. So the bundle that was being sold on eBay was the console, the extra controller, and the Spider-Man game. Sold it. more than what I paid for it, as well as the other consoles that I sold. Nice little profit. So I go to eBay. Hey, your shit sold. Here's your money. They put some of it on hold for another day to release. And I was like, cool. I went into eBay, given the information that the purchaser gave me. eBay automatically does postage. You can purchase it straight from them and it'll populate it with the information that the seller puts in. Did all that, printed out all my labels here at home, slapped it on the box, took everything to the post office, shipped it off, got tracking for the PlayStation since it was a higher value target. I put the signature confirmation, so you have to sign for it to receive the package. The COVID guidelines are a little bit different for the post office now because they don't want people touching their equipment and everything, so they were doing an in-person sign. What that is to the postal worker will sign it on your behalf in your presence. You know, so that's kind of shaky in itself. You kind of see where the store is getting ready to go. But shipped everything off. I tracked everything. The original Xbox that I had here that I sold, my old one, it took a little bit longer to get there, but it was confirmed by the purchaser that it was received. The Xbox Series X arrived on time as per my shipping guidelines. No problem. But the day it arrived, according to my tracking, the seller hit me up the same exact day. I mean, the buyer hit me up the same exact day and was like, okay, it said it was delivered, but I didn't get it. So I was like, well, according to my tracking, it said it was delivered and it was signed for by somebody. Well, then, the buyer hit me back and it was like, well, I was at work and I had my cousin stay in my place because I wasn't going to be able to get off work to be there to receive it. So they were supposed to sign for it. And I looked at the signature thing and it wasn't my signature. And I was like, I don't give a fuck. I didn't say that, but that's what I was thinking. I was like, I did my part. You paid me. I sent you a product. It left my area of operation, which is Houston, Texas. And it traveled all the way to Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and it was delivered to the address that was given to me by the freaking buyer. So, I mean, that's out of my realm. That's out of my hands. That's out of my responsibility. You paid for it. I sent it. And whatever happens from Fort Lauderdale, Florida's post office to your house, it's none of my concern. That's how I looked at it. I didn't say all that stuff. But as a courtesy, because that would be a shitty situation if that happened to me, I launched an investigation with the UPS. I mean, not UPS, the United States Postal Service. And it was a clusterfuck from the start. Called the post office in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Told them what happened, wanted to launch an investigation. They opened up a case. And instead of handling it there in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, they sent the investigation back to Houston, Texas. Already fucking up. A representative from Houston called me from their post office saying, hey, they kicked the investigation to us because of a package and everything, and we can't do anything about it because it was shipped to where it was supposed to go and it was delivered, and we can't even see anything in the system on our end because after it left Houston, we have nothing to do with it. I was like, I kind of figured that. Thank you for the information. So I called back again to Fort Lauderdale freaking post office. Now, mind you, every time that I called to inquire about this package, I had to wait on the phone on hold for an hour. Over an hour, really. I think one time I was always on there for 2 hours waiting to talk to somebody, So call them up again, told them what happened. And I was just like, hey, I called. This happened. Then you launched the investigation and you shot it down to Houston. And it's like, wow, they shouldn't have done that. Reassuring me that it was a mistake. And, we got all the information now and everything is cool and copacetic. We'll get back to you and everything like that. So they do what they say they did or whatever. Mind you, This is the second time I called about this instance. So they have all the information for the previous call. They looked up the case number and everything. And then they opened up a new case number, populating it with the information from the old case number. So I get an email in my mailbox showing that they sent me like a confirmation of the signature and that it was actually delivered and so on and so forth. It was just a hard copy to have for my records that, hey, you shipped it. It got to where it was supposed to go. Somebody signed for it and it was delivered. Cool. So I kept that. And then I got an email from Fort Lauderdale post office again saying that they closed the case because they didn't have the proper information to continue on with the investigation. So what the fuck is going on in Fort Lauderdale? Anyway, I tried to call a third time. Couldn't get a hold of anybody. I think it was the time of day that I tried to call because they are an hour ahead of us. And I did call late in the day, so I probably wouldn't have got a hold of anybody. But I hit up eBay because at this point, me and the buyers going back and forth is like, hey, man, this is what I did. This is what I tried to do. This is the information that I'm getting back. And I'm just keeping them abreast of what's happening and what's going on. And it's like, oh, thank you for your help. I appreciate it. This and the third. And, just a heads up, I'm going to file a claim because eBay has a money back guarantee policy or whatever. She said, so the person was like, just a heads up, I'm about to file this claim and everything. If you got any money in your PayPal account or anything, you might want to pull that out because they're going to try to take the money back. I was like, that's kind of fucked up. But I've already transferred it out of my PayPal account anyway. Hell, I already went Christmas shopping. I got gifts and shit with the money. So the money isn't there. So eBay, as they said, hit me up saying that the investigation was lost. They didn't get their package, yada, yada, yada. So, cool. No problem. I was expecting it. I go look at my PayPal account. It's negative however much money they paid for the fucking PlayStation. And I'm like, that's kind of fucked up. They didn't even go through with the investigation before they started trying to take money back and all kind of other crap like that. But it was cool. So I went to eBay. I was like, hey, eBay, this is what happened. This is what I got. Here you go. I gave them all the information that I had from the investigation, showed them the receipts of delivery, all that crap. I gave them all that they would need to know about our transaction. And plus, eBay keeps all the messaging logs and everything. So they know what, you've been saying back and forth to each other. They make that a part of the investigation. So they got all that. They got all the information that I gave them. And they ruled in my favor. I did what I was supposed to do. I don't have to do anything further. Now, I go hit up PayPal. I was like, hey, PayPal, same shit. Give them the same information I gave eBay. And it's like, yo, we rule in your favor. So now my account is back to zero on PayPal. I got I'm flush on my freaking eBay account and everything. I got all my monies and everything. And then days later, I get a $200 and some odd fee from eBay. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? Because I never sold on eBay. But they charge you 10% of all that you sell on eBay. A seller's fee. And that's kind of fucked up. So all the money that I made, I had to give up $200 and some odd of the transaction and shit for fees. And I was sad about that. But I mean, small price to pay. I know that probably not have been an interesting story in any other circumstance, but I just wanted to put it out there in the world. When you're doing shit with eBay and all this other bull crap, just be careful. Protect yourself. Make sure you do signature shit and everything. And yeah, this is what we're talking about on the 5-year episode. 5-year anniversary of 3R show. But yeah, this is where we at. But back to the podcasting thing. Okay, so this is where I've been mentally as far as this podcast, I enjoy doing it. I enjoy talking to people at random, but it's been weird lately. I can tell you exactly the point when it started getting weird for me. And I don't know if weird is the right word, but it's just, it's what I said. Around the George Floyd and the Ahmaud Arbery, all that whole situation that was going down. We even had a podcast with a couple of local podcasters and everything, and we kind of aired our grievances about the whole situation and whatnot. I was kind of out of it, man, just because of what was going on in the world at that time and just how it's making me feel, personally and everything. It's some sad shit. And all this time, all these years later, is just, we are still living in the shit. We done been stole from the homeland, brought to another land, enslaved for decades upon decades upon decades upon decades, been emancipated, supposedly be free, then go through segregation and riots and, violence. And then here we are in 2020, 2021, and it feels like the shit has never stopped. It's never ended. It's never changed. And it was weighing on me because I was just seeing all these posts on social media. The news was just like pumping it all out. And it was fucking sad. And it was taking its toll on me. So I think around that time, I took a week away from social media. I checked in every now and then, but I didn't post anything. I didn't do anything for a whole week. I had podcasts previously recorded that I put out there. And I think for that week that I was off social media, I even recorded a special episode just kind of getting all that shit off my chest. Just saying what I had to say. I had a little bit of alcohol in my system, which I don't think that's a proper way to channel your anger and frustration or whatnot, because you might say some weird shit. But they do say what a drunken heart makes a sober mind or some shit. Whatever the stupid quote is, you know what the fuck I'm talking about. You're more likely to tell the truth when you're inebriated than you would if you were sober. But I took the week off of social media, and I just kind of did other shit. I played video games. I think I started doing Twitch around that time, or not too long after that. But I was just learning other things. I was getting this computer put together. I was just doing other shit. I was still kind of finishing up my office here, and I was just away from the podcasting stuff. And I think that's when it started biting me. It's just like I wasn't focused on the podcast. I wasn't doing my promotions and everything week to week, day to day, hour to hour like I normally did to promote the show. Because promotion for your podcast is a big thing. I just found that out here a couple weeks ago through this whole thing, because I've been slacking off on social media. I just didn't want to have too much to do with it. From that point on, the time that I just kind of fell out of it, after that week, I hadn't been the same. I just kind of fell out of it with social media and podcasting. So, if you've been kind of keeping up on social media and you hadn't been seeing or hearing from me, like in the DM groups or whatever the case it may be, is because of that. It's because of that situation, and it just kind of kept carrying over and over and over, and I was just done for the most part. I had enough of this shit. And I don't think I had shit scheduled. I had shit pre-recorded, so I wasn't worried about future episodes. I was just playing what I had in the stockpile. Even if you've been listening to some of the episodes to where I've even, I always talk at the end of the episode, just like, hey, that was my guess. Here's a recap of what we talked about. And, I'll give you a heads up on the next episode, plug merch and all that stuff. You notice throughout these recent batches of episodes, I hadn't been doing that as much, or it's just been real quick and to the point and just blase. Just because, I wasn't feeling it. I really wasn't feeling it. And it's just, I don't know. am I falling out of love with podcasting, or am I falling out of love with social media? This is the question that I've been asking myself. And it's a weird situation because you can't really do podcasting without social media. You know, you got to get it out there. You got to connect with people. You got to do all these things. And social media is a big part of that. And just to kind of like forego it and just try to continue business as usual with podcasting it's not viable. I know this for a fact because my listenership or just my statistics and everything, my analytics, is dropped a little bit over 50% since I hadn't been promoting or interacting in social media and everything and just putting out the podcast like normal. It's proven fact. I've been watching the numbers and everything. I mean, who knows how true to life, Podbean or all those other things really and truly are. I mean, but it's just a tool to help you and kind of gauge where you sit, amongst social media. So since I hadn't been posting, retweeting, doing all this other extra shit, numbers have been down. And just as of the past couple of days, after January 1st, today is January 13th, the anniversary of 3R Show. Within 2 days, yesterday, and I don't think I've done anything, but just yesterday alone, I got back on social media and started doing the things that I used to normally do. Just, kind of spamming and retweeting my episodes and everything like that. And the numbers have gone up. Like almost back to norm. And I find that weird and fascinating or whatever. Is it the social media that drives the podcast, or is it the podcast that drives the social media? I don't know. But it is proven via the statistics and analytics that I've been given, just after 1 day of me retweeting and promoting my podcast like I normally used to do, the numbers go up. Is it just because they're clicking links and is registering as a play or time used or whatever the case may be? Whatever the case is, I've only been posting for 1 day and the numbers have went up. As of today, as of this recording, I haven't posted anything today. And I'm going to look at the numbers tomorrow and I'm going to compare. I have been receiving complaints because I went spam crazy or whatever. It's just I scheduled all my tweets and everything that I was going to put out because I majorly promote on Twitter. And some of the guests that have been tagged in those posts were like, hey, can you spread this shit out? But hey, cost of business, baby. You gave me the content to promote. Now I'm promoting the content. Now I'm trying to spread the awareness of you, because you took your time and, you gave the effort to be here on the show. And I appreciate that. And I just want to celebrate you. So let me do what I do. Or put me on mute. But I wouldn't recommend that because that's not good for business. We live in social media to where we have to interact and engage and do all these things. And it wouldn't be cool if you muted me because we couldn't engage and interact because I'm muted. During the break or the step away or whatever the case may be, I've been focusing on other things. I've been getting really back into just chatting with the homies about professional wrestling. Wrestling is Trash has, I think, produced more episodes within the past 3 or 4 months than it has ever had in its, almost 2 years of existence. And that's because we just been pumping out episodes for pay-per-views and just random chats and everything about professional wrestling. So it's been fun. And that was what was really getting me back into just kind of, I guess, to podcasting and everything for lack of better words, just hanging with the homies, talking about professional wrestling. I guess it was more like an escape. It was taking my mind off of that other stuff that I would deal with 3R Show and shit like that, because I was talking about something that I do for leisure, something that I love, and it's been a part of my life so as long as I can remember, and that's professional wrestling. And during the time away, also, is just the lack of social media use. You get to see, I don't know how to phrase it, but it's just like who fucking with you and who ain't fucking with you, because nobody really noticed. And this is the first time I'm really bringing it to the light at everything. You know, I have other ways that you can reach me, DMs and Twitter and Instagram and Facebook, and some people even have my personal cell phone number, but haven't heard a peep, you know? I'm not saying it like, because I have been keeping up and talking with some people, but in reference to the podcast, nobody has ever said anything about like, oh man, you lacking on your social media, or you know, people that I normally speak with on the social media and interact with or whatever, they had noticed I've been gone. But at the same time, you know, if you are a content creator, if you're a podcaster, you tend not to notice those things so much because you're busy on your grind and you're busy doing what you're doing and so on and so forth. And that kind of made me feel a certain way. It's like I wasn't mad at them. I'm not mad at a specific person or anything like that. It's nothing like that. It's just like, it make you kind of feel like, what the fuck am I really doing? And I know I've been lazy and contradicting myself to some extent or whatever. Because I know the running thing before this office was when I get my own shit and get the equipment to do so and yada, 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 then I'm going to do this, and this, and this. And I have been trying. Because, I mean, I have the things now. I have the tools to do those things that I said I want to try to do. But it's more like, I think I'm in love with the process rather than the product, if that makes any sense. What I mean by that is, I like trying to learn to do new things, but to create a product with the things that I've learned, it seems straining and taxing to me. You know, I have a weird personality, I guess. I bought a drone last year, and I was like, yeah, I can do all this cool shit with it. And it just sits back there, you know, where that flag is on the shelf. I don't think I've messed with it since I updated it the last time, and I think there's a new update out, so I might just plug it up just to update it or whatever. But it just sits over there, and I don't create any content with it. I got this camera that I'm recording on right now. I got this camera sitting right here, and I'm supposed to do a couple of unboxings and everything, but it's just like that time away did some damage to me because I wasn't focused on creating content. I wasn't focused on making, you know, something for social media. I was just here in my space that I built and just doing me, just playing video games and, you know, watching movies and hanging out and just participating in other people's creations and everything, which I really enjoy doing. Just helping out the Cult 45 podcast when they did their series of movies for Friday the 13th and freaking Nightmare on Elm Street. I was a part of their projects. I did a couple guest spots on some other people's podcasts and everything. And those are the things I thoroughly enjoy. And I like to be a part of other people's process. I like to help other people with, you know, achieving some of their goals and, you know, being a part of their creations. Because for me, it's just like, a thing that I said is I wanted to learn how to do all this stuff because I wanted to be able to help somebody that didn't know how to do it. Or if one of my kids had any interest in it, I already have the know-how to do it. I just kind of pass that knowledge and information on to them. And I think I enjoy doing that more than producing my own content. I think that's what it really is. I think that's kind of why I got a little more into wrestling this trash, because it's mine by creation, because I came up with it. I started it. But the funny term is what I put on it. I say it's the people's podcast, because anybody that I know that text me or they message me and they want to talk about professional wrestling, that's when we fire up Wrestling is Trash. They throw up the bat signal or the wit signal, and we all assemble and we talk about professional wrestling. And I really enjoy doing that because I don't feel like it's my show. It's somebody else's show. You know, mainly Nick's, because Nick is the one that really, you know, assembles us all together. He's the one that comes up and be like, hey, we need to record an episode. Because edgewise, I wouldn't really be doing so much of it if it wasn't for Nick. But whenever we all get together and we do it, it's fucking fun, and I really enjoy it because I'm doing the legwork for the most part. Am I saying that, hey, I just want to be the motherfucker doing all the work and shit for somebody else? No, I did not say that, because a lot of times I think Wrestling is Trash should be, you know, its own independent thing. It shouldn't have to be solely dependent upon me. Anybody in my group of friends that needs a wrestling platform, that's what Wrestling is Trash is for. So even if I'm not able to do it, I feel like somebody else can take the reins and run with it, you know, in my stead. And I like the idea of that. But with 3R Show and the Random Realms with Rob, you know, there is none of that. You know, Discord or Facebook and whatnot. I mean, I get a couple responses on Facebook, but like the Discord, dead. Ain't nobody doing shit in there. And that's partially my fault, because I feel like if I bring you in to the circle, you know, that it should just be automatically popping and everything, you know. But I look at Discord not so much as a community, which, I mean, it could be in certain instances, but it's a way to directly connect with me. And then also I think about it as a way too, is just like, if you want to directly connect with me, I'll give you my fucking phone number. You know, and most of the people on the Discord have my personal cell phone number, you know, and we talk from time to time and text and other shit. So I feel weird about expanding into those different avenues, because Discord is a great platform, is a great tool for networking and social media and to do other cool shit. But I feel like it's weird to ask somebody to download an app to interact with you when they have your phone number and they can just do it there. And, you know, you don't want all the weirdos to have your cell phone number and everything, you know? But I don't know. I feel weird about those things, especially if it's not, you know, engaging and popping and everything or whatnot, or nobody bringing up any ideas or doing anything, you know. It's just like, what's the point? But I have been thinking of other things to use it for when it's in reference to Wrestling is Trash. What I want to do is actually host viewing parties. I got my man Jay Sandlin. We would used to do, in the early iteration of Wrestling is Trash, we would do watch-alongs. We would pick a certain match from a pay-per-view or just a significant match, and we would watch it and we review it and give our thoughts. And Jay is just a fountain of knowledge when it comes to old shit in general. I mean, he's a historian, for Christ's sakes. But when it's particularly about wrestling, he brings up things that I never really thought about or knew of. So there was the idea, or there is the idea, of getting some matches and doing the watch-alongs in Discord so other people can watch along with us while we record the show. So there's things like that that I like Discord for. But I don't know. And then I also feel weird about Wrestling is Trash because I know a lot of people that come on the show have their own wrestling podcasts. And I feel like I'm taking them away from their medium to be in my shit, to where I don't have a problem just going to be a part of their shit. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I don't. It's just like, you do a wrestling podcast and now I'm asking you to come be a guest on my wrestling podcast. I don't know if that seems weird to you, or maybe I'm just thinking too much into it or whatever. Because I mean, all the people that I know and that's been on the show is cool. And they don't mind doing it whenever they have the time. But I just feel like I'm taking away from your shtick. Because we have Brian and all those guys from the UWO podcast, which is a successful wrestling podcast in my eyes. And they come over here and they just kind of do the same thing for my benefit when they don't really have to. I very much so appreciate it. And it's fun. It's always fun, but I don't know. I just feel weird about it. So, I don't know. But do I want to keep podcasting? Or do I want to be absorbed into somebody else's shit? Yes and no, I guess. I don't know. Because I don't mind helping. I like helping. To be a part of something is just, I don't know. I think it's kind of a personality trait of mine. You know, I was in the military. I was a part of something, you know. I do this podcast and it's just me. I'm not really a part of anything. But when I'm a part of somebody else's thing or whatever, I think I enjoy that more than, you know, almost doing my own shit. But I still enjoy doing my own shit. And I don't know, it's just like, I like what so many people are doing. And I kind of want to do the same thing, but I feel like I'm taking away from their shit. Now, everybody's shit is not the same. So, I mean, because this person does a movie podcast and this person does a movie podcast, don't mean that they have the same audience. You know, their sense of humor may be different from their sense of humor. You know, my takes may be different from somebody else's takes, but that's just how I kind of feel about it. It's just so many confusing times and everything. It's just kind of, in the beginning of this podcast, it was just, I wanted to do it. I just wanted to do it. I didn't really care about the pomp and circumstance of social media and all that stuff. I just wanted to do the podcast and see if it grew. It's almost like radio. I mean, you don't have people, you know, advertising shit that's going on the radio, but you have people on the radio advertising their shit. But, you know, radio is always there. You're not watching people on CNN talking about shit that they heard on the radio. Oh, well, at least I don't, because I don't even watch TV. So that's probably not even a good analogy. I only watch what I want to watch. I don't watch live TV. I especially don't watch the fucking news. But when we go back to that George Floyd and the Arbery shit or whatever, I could not avoid it. It was everywhere. It was on social media. It was in my home. It was on my TV doing the things that I thought I can watch to escape the things that I was trying to get away from. It was just everywhere, and it was overwhelming, and it's just, fuck. It's just a lot of shit, you know? And, yeah, I don't even know. But the few people that reached out and wished me happy 5-year anniversary and, you know, to 5 more, you know, that's kind of wafty. You know, I don't foresee me doing this another 5 years. Not saying that I won't be, but I don't know. I like doing what I want to do. And the podcast is something that I want to do. But there's other things that I want to do. And if I feel like if I pursue those wholeheartedly, that the podcast will just kind of be pushed to the wayside and it won't be what it once was or can be. But I'm playing it by ear. I'm still trying to book guests. And matter of fact, I think the other day, the current episode that is out now, as this is being recorded with the guy and gal from the Voices of Misery podcast, that has been legitimately the first podcast that I've recorded with new people, or in general since maybe November. And here we are, January 13th, 5 years in. And once we got going, I felt good. I was like, this is why I'm doing this. This is fun, you know? But when the recorder goes off, it's just like, why am I doing this? This is, it's just that, I don't know. It's just, maybe it's an addiction thing, the serotonin or whatever the fuck, you know, as soon as the record button come on, I'm lit up. I'm ready to go. It's just, I like doing it in the moment, but the after and editing and just getting everything prepped for social media, I don't enjoy that so much anymore. And as I said, it's an integral part of doing this shit. It's a conundrum. It's a weird place. But I don't know. I love it still. I know I've been sitting here for 20-some minutes complaining. Well, at least that's what it sounds like in my head. But gotta air it out. Gotta give you my head space or whatever. It's just, that's why the Patreon is not successful. That's why the goddamn merch ain't moving. It's because the social media shit is just like, I'm like blah on it. I still like Instagram, even though they fucked it up, changing all this shit but I don't know. Maybe I'm in a lull. 5 years represent a lull, you know, in this stage and point of Random Rambles with Rob. And, you know, maybe I'll overcome it. Maybe I won't. And, you know, nothing in life is forever. Nothing in life is for certain. You know, you just kind of got to roll with the punches. But for everybody that may hear and see this episode, you can't get to where I am emotionally if you don't try. So if you had a thought in your head, go ahead and pursue it. Don't be like me and procrastinate and goddamn be a hypocrite. You know, do as I say, not as I do. Try it. You won't know if you don't like it if you don't attempt or try it. So here's my attempt to bringing you more video content and pursuing different ideas. This is my attempt. This is my try, you know? So I'll see if I like it. You know if I don't, because you won't see it anymore. or you'll see less of it. So yeah. But for those of you who have wished it, thank you for the 5 years of congratulations. And here's the 5 years more of rambling randomly. For all the people that I associate with in the podcast world, behind the scenes and everything like that, I appreciate you. I enjoy helping you with anything and everything that I have helped you with. I have enjoyed doing. It has not been a burden, even though some of you have been a pain in the ass. I won't say you specifically. But if you have to think about it and you think it's you, it might be you. Mysterious like that. But I enjoy it. You've heard my thoughts here for the past couple of minutes about me, you know, being able to pass knowledge or help people obtain the knowledge or just being a part of other people's things. I mean, I like helping. So if you need the help or you need somebody to sit in as a co-host or you're looking for a third man or fourth or fifth or whatever the case may be, you need a sub. If I have the time available to do it, there to help out. I've told many people this before. I mean, they tell me thank you for helping. I was like, hey man, that's what I'm here for. And I genuinely feel like that. I feel like I'm here to help people. To where it be through my words and my cadence and all those things, or my actions and whatever the case may be. Or you just need a stern talking to every now and then, you know, a little bit of motivation. That's what it's about. That's what I'm here for. Independently podcasting and doing shit, things and stuff. Kind of feel emotional. Feel my eyes getting wet. But I think I'm done. Not with podcasting, just my spiel, my rant. And yeah. Follow me on Twitch. I'm doing things over there. I might get on here in a little while, play some games or whatnot. Stop by, enjoy the conversation, or me yelling into the abyss of the internet to nobody. Just catching on the replay too. Fuck it. Retweet it and all that stuff. I just talk about my rant about social media. And here I am talking about retweeting and engaging and sharing my social media. But for those of you who want to keep track, because I'll get back to it. I'll ease back into it and it'll just be as it once was, maybe, or even better. Maybe worse, but who knows. You can follow me on Twitter at 3R Show. You can follow me on Instagram at the 3R Show. As I just mentioned about Twitch, twitch.tv/3R Show. YouTube has a couple videos on there. Search for 3R Show. And for anything that I may have forgotten to mention, you can go to randomrob.com and you can find all those things unto pertaining and whatnot. You can even see my guest list, which I need to update with all the newer guests that I've had on there. But you can just click on their picture and it'll pop up their episode that they've been featured on and everything. So shout out always to Hooks, Rubs, and Spices. And see you in 5 years, I guess. 6 years for the anniversary. See you next January 13th. Let's be optimistic.